welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the lives of 14 incredible women from the Bible whose stories continue to inspire and teach us valuable lessons. These women faced challenges, made mistakes, experienced joy, and lived lives that pointed to a love and a hope much bigger than themselves. Think about it, across centuries and cultures, their stories still resonate. They remind us that we are not alone, that God sees us, hears us, and walks with us through every season of our lives. So get ready to be inspired, get ready to be challenged, and get ready to see yourself in their stories. Let's get started. Number 1, Eve. Sarah. The journey, the promise, the wait, but also doubt, laughter, and a promise that seemed impossible. Even in her doubt, when hope seemed lost, God fulfilled his promise. Sarah's story reminds us that no matter how long the wait, God's promises are always fulfilled in his perfect timing. Hagar. Can you imagine being cast out into the desert with your child, feeling utterly abandoned? The Bible tells us she wept. But Hagar's story isn't just about survival, it's about the incredible power of faith. Hagar reminds us that God sees us in our distress and provides for us in ways we could never imagine. Rebecca's story is one that makes us think about the choices we make and the impact they have on those around us. She was a mother who loved her son deeply, but her actions also reveal the complexities of family dynamics. Rebecca's story reminds us to seek God's guidance in our decision-making, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Leah and Rachel, sisters bound by blood but also by a love triangle that brought both joy and deep pain. Their story is a tapestry woven with jealousy, rivalry, and the yearning for love and acceptance. Leah, often overlooked, experiences the blessing of children. Rachel, deeply loved, endures the pain of infertility. Miriam! She was a woman of strength and courage, a prophetess, leading her people in song after God parted the Red Sea. But Miriam's story also holds a cautionary tale about the dangers of pride. It's a reminder for all of us that true leadership comes from a place of humility and that our gifts are meant to glorify God, not ourselves. Deborah. Now there was a woman who broke the mold. A judge, a prophetess, a warrior. In a time when women were often relegated to the sidelines, Deborah rose to a place of leadership and influence. Deborah's story reminds us that God equips us for the tasks he calls us to, regardless of our gender or societal expectations. Ruth, a woman who could have easily given up, who could have chosen bitterness and despair, but instead she chose loyalty and followed her mother-in-law Naomi, even though it meant leaving everything she knew behind. Ruth teaches us about the power of faithfulness, about hard work, and about trusting in God's providence. Hannah. Her story is a powerful testament to the power of prayer. Year after year, she poured out her heart to God, longing for a child. Her story reminds us that when we surrender our desires to God, he can do amazing things in and through our lives. Esther. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. She was a young woman who found herself queen at a pivotal moment in history. But with that crown came a heavy burden, a choice to make. Esther teaches us that God places us in strategic positions for his purposes. Mary. A young woman from a humble background chosen by God for the greatest assignment imaginable, to carry and give birth to Jesus, the Son of God. Can you imagine the weight of that responsibility, the fear, the wonder? But Mary's response is one of simple, profound obedience. Her story reminds us that God can do amazing things through those who are willing to say yes to his call. Mary Magdalene. Her story is one of radical transformation. Once bound by darkness, she encountered Jesus, and her life was forever changed. Mary Magdalene's story reminds us that no matter what we've done or where we've been, God's love and forgiveness can reach us. Martha, the doer, busy with serving. Her story reminds us to find a balance between doing and being, between serving others and nurturing our relationship with Christ. Priscilla, a woman who wasn't afraid to use her gifts. The Bible tells us she was a skilled teacher, working alongside her husband Aquila to spread the message of the gospel. Phoebe, a deaconess in the early church. Phoebe's story reminds us that God calls women to use their gifts in service to others, to be active participants in building up the body of Christ. These women lived such different lives, faced unique challenges, but they all shared a deep faith, a willingness to say yes to God, even when it was hard, even when it was scary. Their stories remind us to trust God's plan, serve with humility, lead boldly, and maintain a deep relationship with Christ. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through the lives of these extraordinary women of the Bible. Go out and live your story with courage, with grace, and with the unwavering belief that God has great things in store for you. If you feel inspired by these stories, consider giving your life to Christ, embrace His love, and develop a character as strong and faithful as these matriarchs. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring content.